Hey guys, my name's Mark, and how's it going? I made some changes to the audio levels on my microphone, and I changed its position a little bit relative to where I'm sitting. So I'm hoping that the audio quality of me talking will be quite a bit better in this video than my last commentary, but that's kind of beside the point. Let me just get into things. What I want to talk about today is time. And that's very general, but the thing about time is that it's always happening, right? And so, for me at least, it's very, very easy to start obsessing about time management. Now, I happen to be a pretty busy guy. I'm a college student and I also work part time. And so, trying to juggle school and work and having a social life and all of my other personal goals and everything else that could potentially take up my time can just be challenging. And so, out of necessity, I've gotten pretty good at time management. And the way I do that is I mentally make these checklists in my head all the time of all the things that I need to get done and how long they're going to take and what priority they all have. And I think that kind of time management isn't a bad skill to have, but one thing that I have been starting to realize is that that can be very, very stressful. And so what I want to share is a kind of mental technique I learned it, but it was really just told to me recently. A mental trick to allow you to not think so much about time. And the trick goes like this. What you do is you pick a task, something you want to do, and then you estimate how long you think that task will take, whether it be a half hour or 2 hours or whatever it might be. And what you do is you take out your phone, you set a timer with an alarm for that amount of time, and then you hit start and you start doing the task. And what this technique allows you to do is to kind of, sounds a little bit weird, but it kind of allows you to disassociate yourself with time in that when you hit start on your phone and you've got the amount of time set properly, you can fully focus and devote all your energies to whatever the task it is you're doing, whether that's doing homework or playing video games or anything. And it allows you to not only be more efficient in whatever it is you're doing, but it allows you to probably have more fun. And like I said, it reduces stress in that while you're working on the task, you aren't spending so much time worrying about how much time it's taking, and even worse, you don't spend so much time thinking about whether you could be spending your time better somewhere else. You're just able to focus on what you're doing, and you can know that when your alarm goes off, you can move on to something else. And even if, say, you allocate yourself half an hour to practice a musical instrument, maybe you don't get done everything you wanted to, but at least you've made progress. Instead of, and this is the kicker, instead of spending a lot of time worrying about how to spend your time, you just start spending it, if that makes sense. So I guess this technique was taught to me by my trumpet professor, actually, and I've been using it for about 2 weeks now, and for me personally, I find it to be incredibly helpful. I am using it as I'm making this video, actually. And like I said, I've noticed a considerable difference, even in just 2 weeks, in the amount of time I spend worrying about time. It's a lot less. I feel a lot less stressed, and I feel a lot less panicked when I start to feel overwhelmed by the number of things I have to do, right? So I guess that's one thing I wanted to share, but more generally, and still on the same topic of time, I wanted to talk about how, well, let me rephrase that. I wanted to talk about balancing work time versus free time. And everyone is busy. They have busy schedules, I guess. Not everyone, but most people are. And everyone's different, and so everyone works at different paces, and they prioritize different things, and they get distracted more or less easily, and that's all fine and good. But I really get bothered when people tell me that they're too busy to do something like hang out on a time like on a Friday or Saturday night. And I don't want to get too off topic here, so let me backtrack for a second and just make sure it's clear what I'm talking about. Even if you're the busiest person alive, I think that we can all agree that if there's one time during the week when you should be able to take some time for yourself and just do what you want to do, it should be on a Friday or Saturday night, right? Maybe a Thursday if you're into Thirsty Thursday. But what I find is that a lot of my friends say, I would ask them on a Saturday night, hey, do you want to come hang out and play video games with me? And they say, I can't, I'm doing homework. And while it is true that there are times when you actually are just too busy to do anything, maybe you have 3 exams the upcoming week and 4 papers to write, and you just really need to spend your time, even on Friday and Saturday nights, doing work. That's fine, and that does happen, but I think it happens extremely rarely. And the same people who tell me that on a Saturday night they need to spend their night in the library rather than doing something else, I want to make sure I phrase this properly. I have a very hard time believing that these people are so busy that every moment of their time is just so filled with work that they have to do that they are unable to even take off a Saturday night for something that should be fun. And I would argue that the same kinds of people who would spend 12 to 14 hours a day in a library doing work probably spend half of it on Facebook and another quarter on Pinterest or Reddit or something. Again, nothing wrong with spending time on those sites or any other, but I guess it's that people like to use how busy they are as an excuse. And I think people like to throw around the phrase, I can't. Like, I can't come out, I have too much work to do. And I hope I'm not getting too off topic, but there is very little that you can't do if you just work efficiently and make time for the things that you actually want to do. And so that technique, that mental technique I mentioned earlier about setting an alarm on your phone so that you can focus your energies on what you're doing, allows you to work more efficiently so that the work that you actually do have to get done, like your homework, for example, it allows you to get those things done more quickly so that you can then spend a proportionately greater amount of time doing the things that you want to do. And I started rambling a little. I hope I made sense, but it looks like I'm at the end of my video. So thanks for watching and have a good one.